TV, that's channel 92. And in case you're just joining us, of course you haven't missed out on quite a lot, because we're just getting started with our guests in the studio. And of course, joining me in the studio this morning is Mr. Chendela Erasmus Mukondo, who is Information and Publicity Chief Admin for the Patriotic Front. And of course, as you know, that the numbers of the COVID-19 cases are slowly rising, and so we are advised to also take precaution as the general public in terms of if you're in a public place, ensure that you wear a face mask, and also you carry some hand sanitizer and some gloves as well. But here to tell us more about what's been happening, good morning, welcome to the Breakfast Show.
Thank you. Good morning. I'm honored to be here. And
right.
Good morning to our viewers.
Absolutely. What is your take on how the public is taking the issue of the COVID-19?
For the time being, I think it's very disappointing, especially that going in the streets of Lusaka, especially the core business area there, you find that people have taken an approach, a laissez-faire type of approach, which is not encouraging. But we are happy so far, so good with the, what the authorities have been doing, especially through the office of one Bowman Lusambo, our Lusaka province minister, especially that Lusaka is the epicenter of this pandemic here in Zambia. So basically, we can say for the time being, especially looking at also the way the Minister of Health has been handling it with his counterpart, the Minister of Information, $1 MCC. So far it has been so far so good. They have been doing justice to what is happening, but basically it's just there is a mentality among our Zambian people which we need to push on, and as leaders we need also to be on the ground to talk to our people. Absolutely.
Yes. Now, speaking of that, how is the party responding to the issue of the COVID-19?
Well, it's very difficult to respond as a party, especially that if you look at the way this is a pandemic thing, we have to look at it from the international level and the international guidelines and the best practices that have been preached by our president. And then second, we have to look at facts. The historical component of these pandemics. This is not the first time, and since it's not the first time, we need to tell the people to take heart. Others, they can take it to be more like it's the end of the world. So from being factual, we go historically. We can get even the pandemic, the nearest one, which happened 100 years ago, between 1917 to 1920, the Spanish flu. So basically, as a party, those are the lines at which we are able to get to our people. We are telling them those facts. And then the other third part, it's this is a medical challenge. So you can see we need to be scientific about it. So science has to supersede a lot of some of these challenges that we are having. So from these three layers, we go out to tell our people. So basically, we our position is that of we are just part of stakeholders. We are not at all taking it that it's a PF thing, but we have also been invited by the government so that we work as one block. And I remember very well the general director for World Health Organization. He said we have to be very careful. This COVID, we don't have to practice COVID politics. So COVID politics has to be set aside. So that's how we are handling it as the Patriotic Front.
But a lot of people, have accused the party of politicizing the fight against COVID-19 because of the recent masks and gloves that we have seen, being made.
You have heard the statement from our health minister. He has said we do not have capacity to give each and everyone masks. So it's on that premise that we are coming in as a party. We have been ditching out more materials, during campaign time, 2016, 2011, we were there ditching out materials. And this time around, The survival of our people depends on the knowledge, and the knowledge, one of it, it's we have to cover our mouth, having that piece of material on our faces, and it doesn't matter what type of material it is. It could be any piece that we can find around, and ourselves, we thought we have a lot of party material. We thought we can dish them out, especially that they are expired materials. They are written in 2016, which we know that it won't be political. But if they were the print was 2021, it would have been difficult. It would have been saying we are strategically or in a devious way, we are campaigning for 2021. But basically, we are just telling all those who have materials, they can come out, help the general public, especially if you look at our poor mothers on the streets. And the marketeers, they cannot afford to buy something with 15 kwacha, this surgical mask. So, as a party, we're just coming up with these are some of the little initiatives that we are thinking we can also participate. It's just like you see, you find the Honorable Kaindi Chema. He has offered to the frontline people who are fighting this COVID. Can we say that is partisan, or those doctors and nurses and the health who are in the front line, they are eating meat for Kaindi Chilema? No, he has contributed. So ours is that one of, let's not politicize this issue. Let's not talk about it. Immediately you pick up the issue, you trivialize it, you make it a debate, then we are prone to make that issue become political. So our main emphasis is to tell our people, let us not politicize, let us not debate, let us not hear any pedestrian debates or any Facebook debates. That will politicize this, as we have been warned. No COVID politics from the World Health. So that's our position. And our president has emphasized that we should be factual, scientific, and at the end of the day, we should also be very much adhering to the best practices.
Okay. Now, also, you as the Patriotic Front, you have been accused of hiring tailors to actually print face masks using UPND regalia. What is your stance on that?
Well, on that one, I think that's why I don't want to be political. I don't want even to it's just of the things, social media. We have a problem, and this is my background, where I'm coming from, the social media. People, they are always trying to design something different so that the debates keeps on going, or it keeps on growing. So there are those people who are just interested in making sure that there is a debate. And this is the reason why you find that other people, they are saying, no, PF has hired the tailors. But what I know, Under Tembo, who is handling the presidential initiative, is the one who had some women who said, we can assist you in doing this thing so that you can go and give people. In this case, he distributed in a cafe. Yes. So basically, what is important, the underlying truth is that the knowledge that we have, that is of covering our mouth, that's what will help our brothers and sisters. That's what is very cardinal. It's not the cover itself, but the life that we are trying to preserve. So basically, ours is not of saying, this is what is happening, this is what the other camp is saying. Ours is type of, we're into this fight together with everybody. We are not looking at, is it a Jehovah Witness who has brought a mask? Is it a Catholic priest who has brought bread? Is it what? We are all fighting. We are all into this together. We have seen the Hindus, they have come on board. They have given us the courtyard hotel. Now it is a COVID facility. Can we say the Hindus, they are campaigning, they want Zambians after the COVID, they will become Hindus? Or in Mazabuka, we have seen the Islamic Society, they have been contributing. Are we saying the Muslims are campaigning, they want after the end of this COVID, people will be COVID of Islam? No. What is important? They are doing a noble thing. So let's look at what we are doing. So I think it's unfortunate there are those people who are trying to peddle such lies. And we know we have purveyors of fake news. So basically, it's just part of the soup, political soup, that it is there on social media.
Most people have condemned, what Honorable Bowman Lusambo is doing. As a party, do you agree with what the Lusaka Province Minister is doing currently?
Well, if I was in his boots, I would still do the same. I think we have very few people who are courageous who are like Bowman Lusambo. Bowman Lusambo is one of the few people who are not sleeping. These are the people in the front line. Dola Syria, health minister, these are the people who are in the front line. And I love the way he has taken it. He has taken it with that passion. Lusaka is an epicenter, and he's the provincial minister. And that's a man that everybody is looking up to. The president, the pressure is on him. And if you look at the people, the composition of people in Lusaka, you do things in a laissez-faire, already we have problems. If you get to the streets, there's that attitude of taking things very casually. So we need a Bowman. This is the reason why we had people like Michael Chilufiasata. He could have been described by somebody who is abrasive, but that's what people needed. So basically, Bowman Lusambo comes in with that mix of making sure that whatever directive has been given, it's been implemented. We have seen some people, bars being closed, even associates of the PF itself. So it's not selective. It's not saying it's UPND, NAREP, UNIP, whatever, but he knows what is at stake. It's our lives. We have lost 3. 27, they are still undergoing medical treatment. And then we have recoveries of about 33. So it's very encouraging. It's very encouraging, and we need such people. And if you have seen in countries like India, they have been whipped because they are talking about a population of 1.3 billion. So even here in Lusaka, you're talking about 3 million people. You don't expect Northwestern Province minister to behave the way Bowman was behaving. So we need such.
Absolutely.
So sometimes we say cruelty brings in kind, what we call the kind of a human being, what we are. Human beings have been very cruel to other things, but at the end of the day, that's what brings us to be what we are, as identifies as a humankind. So, us as a party, we are telling Lusambo, continue. You are doing a commendable job. Because everybody, if we had people who are sleeping, who would have had these cases going beyond certain numbers. If you look at South Africa, it's unfortunate. The USA, it's unfortunate. If you look at even the UK Prime Minister, he had that casual approach. That's how he even got the disease. So, support such people like Lusambo, who appreciate him. Those who are condemning him, I can assure you, you are going to appreciate Lusambo. Tomorrow, you'll be the same person who will say, Lusambo, Lusambo, we want Lusambo, we want Lusambo. Remember, who are the people who are very abrasive. The late President Patrick Mwanawasa, may so rest in peace. They now look at him now. But when he lived, he was very unpopular. But today, they love him. So basically, for us as a party, we encourage such characters as Lusambo. We need people aggressive, people who can implement. That's why we call it enforcement of whatever directive the president has given, especially when it comes to drinking. There are no human rights two ways about it. I know the human rights, they are there, but they have just to speak for the sake of speaking. They themselves, they're not finding themselves in bars. But, we have people who preach what they don't practice. They are protecting people to go on the street, but they themselves are not going. So, we are not worried. For us as a party, we are behind the Bowman Lusambo, and we would encourage others to be also proactive. So, we have a mix. We have the corporate face like the health minister. Is also doing it very good. We have also a journalist, Dola Syria. She's also doing it. So we have, it's an intersectional problem. So this is a challenge to everyone, secretarial challenge. We have to interface with almost everyone to fight this COVID-19.
Absolutely. And also speaking of the ministry, how do you think, how would you describe the way that the Ministry of Health has been responding to the issue of the COVID-19 and, health workers in general?
So far, so good, because we have seen the way they have opened up We have seen a lot of stakeholders coming on board, and a lot of money have been coming in, pouring in, and we have seen that so far we don't hear anyone saying we are being mistreated or we are not. The way it is happening in the USA, where you find that nurses on social media will be popping up saying, yeah, we are unprotected, whatever. But here in Zambia, it's very quiet. Maybe it could be because of the way we have managed ourselves also. And then also, naturally, social distancing, by nature, we are still a very much undeveloped country. That's why you find that all these other provinces, they are not affected. Western Province, Northwestern, Rapula, Copper Belt, Lusaka. Copper Belt has too. But naturally also our underdevelopment has also helped us not to have this COVID disease. But on the health workers, our message is that keep up with good works, especially that we have had 33 people have recovered. And that's what you should be looking at. We have 3 people have died and 33. Now, if it was vice versa, I would have been worried.
Absolutely.
3, they have recovered, and then 33 have died. So on the health workers, we are saying we are doing extremely well. And for us as the Patriotic Front, that's what we want to hear. And as a part of the stakeholders, would want to even say that Boma Iranganepo, so that because it's a successful story. So far so good. Out of 65, we are 33 people, and then about 27 they are still undergoing medical treatment. It's a good story for us.
Your last appeal to the general public, in terms of how they need to start looking at the COVID-19 now that cases are rising, and still we have people that don't think this is a serious issue.
So to the people out there, our members of the general public, I would want to be very specific. We start with the vendors, the marketeers, the bus drivers, whom we are now calling the essential workers. These are the people who are now driving us, the economy, in this position where we are. So let us take this disease very seriously, especially that we have had some agencies of the UN which has been even giving us very scary figures. They are saying if we are not taking this disease seriously, especially that we do not have the right equipment, we can have as many as 23 million maybe people, or 13 million people dying from this COVID. So this is the timely. Let us protect our lives. And I like the Lamba saying, which saying safety in power when we in weka. So to everyone out there, let us protect ourselves. Let us cover ourselves. And then also we practice social distancing. And then also we continue getting updates through the relevant authorities, which is the means of health. So basically with that, I would also urge our colleagues from all parties, and then not only parties, other organizations, that we continue working together as Zambians, because we are one Zambia, one nation.
Absolutely. Yes. Thank you so much, Mr. Chendela, for coming through to our breakfast show today.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Okay.
All right, so we get to move on with our Q Breakfast show. And, of course, a lot of women around the world have been highly affected with the COVID-19. But we'll get an update of what DWTV has for us today. We'll be back shortly.